Hello and welcome into the Skraby Show for Friday, October 25th, 2024. Hope you all are enjoying your Friday. Thank you for being here with me to help me close out the week. Thank you to Sean Lewis for joining us just in the last half hour on Gwen and Chris. That interview will be up shortly. I just need to get through this segment, and then I'm going to put that interview up. But you can watch me on YouTube if you would like. You just go to YouTube, search 97.3 The Fan, or you could go to my X page, which is at Matt Skraby, MattsKraby, as in boy, Y. So the World Series is still scoreless. I believe they're going into the top of the fourth inning now. So I think there was a little bit of nerves happening with the both sides, actually. I mean, it just seems like early in the game, Alex Verdugo kind of struggled with the ball in left field. Tommy Edman struggled with the ball at shortstop. And I think they've worked those nerves out. So we'll see where it goes from here. But it's 0-0 at the moment up in L.A. Now, I wanted to bring this up on the show earlier, but I was overruled. So I said, I'm going to do this tonight. And Dave Roberts came out yesterday, the Dodgers manager, as we all know. He came out yesterday and said Shohei Ohtani, there's no chance of him pitching in the World Series. Now, I saw some video of him pitching, and I know pitching in a bullpen and pitching in a game is completely different. But I saw some video of Shohei, and he looked like he was throwing with some velocity. So, do I really believe that Dave Roberts is not going to use Shohei Ohtani? Do I really believe that? I don't think he will, but I do not believe for 1 second that Dave Roberts hasn't at least played with the idea and continues to play with the idea. Can you imagine that? That would be like the biggest card out there that you could pull. Like all of a sudden, Shohei comes out and has to pitch in the World Series. That would be a huge card to pull. But when talking to the guys earlier, it was like the gist of the conversation was, you know, if he's going to say, Dave Roberts, if he's going to say that Shohei's not going to pitch, then he does pitch, then it kind of makes him look like a liar a little bit. It's a little bit of gamesmanship. But I brought up and pushed back on, there is a difference, obviously, but Dave Roberts also was not telling the truth with the whole Manny Machado thing. And that was just earlier in this playoffs. So do I believe that he's telling the truth? No, I don't believe it that he's telling the truth. Now, I could just be saying all this and Shohei doesn't pitch at all, which is actually likely to happen. But why not? Why not just keep that in your back pocket? And McKee said something random. Just saw a woman walking a little pony in Rancho Bernardo. Let's go through, now that I'm saying Rancho Bernardo, let's go through the roll call. We got Nate, we got M. McKee, we got SD Arena, Castro, Paul, Jocelyn, Katrina, and let's see, Random Ham is here as well. Trevor is here. Dan is here. Thank you to everybody for joining us so far in the show. I know people have lots of great things to do on a Friday night, and I really do appreciate you sticking around with me here. It was, it's been kind of a weird couple weeks, I gotta say. It feels like the Padres were eliminated much longer than 2 weeks ago. I don't know why it feels that way, but I was thinking about this on the drive down because Chris brought it up earlier in the show. It's just hard, at least for maybe 30 seconds, to not think about what would have been. The Padres, I believe they would be in New York for this game one, but still, we would be getting ready for a World Series. We would be on the air right now with Padres baseball in the World Series. And it does make me feel a little sad because I really felt like this team was going to go the distance. But over the past few weeks, I have gotten over that emotion, and I'm now just excited to see what this team can do going forward. And tonight we're going to go through third base, and we're going to talk about Manny Machado. And so kind of how I do these, I go into it with my preconceived notions. And then when I do my research, I find out things, and I'll report whether or not it's worse than what I thought or better than I thought. But we'll go through Manny, and I gotta say, I was pretty surprised at some of the numbers that I was seeing when I was doing the research this morning. So we will talk about Manny Machado and third base. We're also going to talk about things that I have been watching, and especially the scary movies I've been watching, because it's what's it called? Spooky season. It's spooky season. I am a guy that loves spooky, so I've been watching all of the horror movies, and I have this app Shudder. I don't know if people know about that, but Shudder, Shudder, is an app that is just for scary movies, and so I've been going through that like crazy, very crazy. Let's see. Let's see here. Anything good on TV right now? Jose does not want to watch the World Series. But I also saw this. It's Friday, so we're going to have a little bit of fun. But I also saw this article from the Wall Street Journal earlier, and I clicked on it because it was interesting. It said, the latest in-demand view for homeowners is a baseball stadium. Now, the article goes into this whole thing about how there are so many different apartment buildings and condo complexes now around the country that are building their buildings so that there is views of the field. And the couple that they featured in this article is actually from San Diego, and they live downtown next to Petco Park. So I found this very interesting, and they both live in an 1,800 square foot, 3-bedroom downtown San Diego townhouse. They bought their unit for $998,500 in 2007. Now, these people are both 67. They love living down here. It's in the Legend building, but they're putting it up for sale. 35% of those units have views in the stadium's direction, and the 7th floor has a shared amenity space with a 3,200 square foot deck. They also said during the playoffs that they could feel the excitement from where they are. And so if you go to the Wall Street Journal, you're going to find this article. You'll see a picture of them right outside Petco Park. It kind of overlooks, their place kind of overlooks Gallagher Square, and so you can kind of see it from there. But I think living in a place that has a view of a baseball field would be incredible. It would be. Minnesota has one. Minnesota has some. Chicago Wrigley Field has some. The Washington Nationals have some apartments that overlook the field, or at least they're building apartments that overlook the field. But they feature this entire article around San Diego. So if you want to go look at it, you should. But basically what this is saying is like the new hotspot in residential buildings is actually some of these high rises or apartment complexes that are 50 stories high, 25 stories high, overlooking a ballpark. I thought that would be awesome. Also, I don't know if they actually still rent out rooms, but where the Toronto Blue Jays play, I think there is like a hotel in center field, and I think they still rent that room out because I've seen someone up there before. Like there's been a video of them up there, and so you're just in your hotel room, you're enjoying whatever it is on TV in Canada and Toronto, and then you just look out your window and there is a baseball game happening. So I need to find if I can maybe raise a bunch of, not raise money. What am I talking about? If I can pool together some money with some friends and go Airbnb a place that's overlooking a stadium, I think that would really be fun. So there you go. That's my story about San Diego. Wall Street Journal talking all about it. Just go to the Wall Street Journal. The article is called "The Latest in-Demand View for Homeowners, a Baseball Stadium." Now, I have also been downtown before where I can't remember the name of the building, but it's really tall. And if you're at home play at Petco Park, it's in right field and behind the corner. And on the top of the building, my friend had an apartment in there. And on top of the building, it has a great view of the field. Now, it was such a good view that it was hard for them to really police it. And so they had to have like some sign up list, and they had to have some security guards stand there at all times, making sure that people weren't sneaking their way up to the top of this apartment building. Cannot remember the name of it for the life of me, but literally you walk outside of this apartment building and it's like where I don't know what's there now, but the tilted kilt used to be there on that corner. So anyway, World Series in the bottom of the fourth, one out now, no score. Another former Padre playing. I didn't even think about Anthony Rizzo playing for the Yankees. Now, I don't know if it's good or not. If there's so many different Padres in a game playing for other teams, like part of me thinks that it is good because that means that they are correctly evaluating talent and they're getting a lot of players on their team that are very good. But at the same time, it kind of stinks that they're playing for other teams and doing great for other teams. But a lot of these players are, at the time when they were with the Padres, weren't as good as they were now. But Anthony Rizzo is one, and Juan Soto is another. Trent Grisham is another. Tim Hill is another. Brett Honeywell is another. So there's a lot of guys that are playing in the World Series right now that have worn a Padres uniform, and I really do think that tells me AJ Preller and co. are evaluating talent correctly and evaluating talent in a way that puts the Padres at least in a place to have a good player at some point. But that doesn't help anyone when they're playing for another team in the World Series. Just doesn't help them at all. Just doesn't help them at all. All right. When we get back on the Skraby Show, we're going to go through third base, which basically is just Manny Machado. I have a lot of numbers, so I'm going to try to take you through these without confusing you. And then we're going to talk about some of the scary movies that I've been watching to finish out this show. Also, my daily gripe. I had to change it because of the clickbait accusations that were thrown at me. So I'm going to use the clickbait one another day, but I do have another daily gripe. So stick around. I'll be with you here until about 7 p.m. If you would like to watch us on YouTube, go to YouTube, search 97.3 The Fan, be a part of the community, and we'll be back shortly here.
Football season
Welcome back into the Skraby Show for Friday, October 25th. I saw somewhere on the chat that someone said Skraby rule, and I agree because I got some people sticking with me here for the final show of the week on 97.3 The Fan. This week has gone slow. It's got slow. It just has kind of been a little bit of a getting used to our new life now that we are outside of baseball season. Right now on the World Series, they're showing all of the celebrities in the stands. Like, I hate that. That's something I don't like. And the reason I don't like it is because those people aren't there during the season. Come on now. You just want to show them because you want to seem cool. Yeah. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go through Manny Machado right now, and we're going to talk about third base because third base, and we're going to be going through all the different position groups here over the next, maybe 2 weeks or so. But I wanted to do third base because it's one of the most, it's actually it's one of two positions that you can set it and forget it if you're making a lineup, which is Manny Machado at third base and Fernando Tatis Jr. in right field. That's pretty much set it and forget it. And the reason I'm not including Jackson Merrill in that, because we don't know if he's going to play shortstop this year. We don't know if he's going to be back in center field. So I'm going to tackle that when I get to it. But it's kind of like fantasy football. If you have someone like last night, you have Justin Jefferson, you're just going to put him in your lineup and you're not going to think twice about it unless something happens where he gets hurt or if he's not playing or whatever. But that's what Manny Machado is at third base. And this year, it was a struggle for Manny to get started. And we all know he came off of elbow surgery. The more I think about it, the more that I decompress from this season, I really believe that Manny Machado was hurt for a lot of the first half, and that's why he wasn't as strong as he was in the second half. But when you look at his final numbers for the entire year, Manny Machado put up a pretty good season. If you're looking at, here's how I'm going to look at it. You're going to look at just third baseman, and he performed quite well if you're looking at all of the third basemen in Major League Baseball. Last year, he had a 275 batting average. He was 797 OPS. He had 29 home runs, had 105 RBIs. And in his 13-year career that he's only had 4 seasons with more than 100 RBIs, Manny Machado. 3 of those 4 seasons have come in the last 4 years. You may ask, where does this rank around the league? Well, among third basemen, the Guardians' Jose Ramirez and Manny Machado are the only players with 3 100-plus RBI seasons in the last 4. And when you're doing, like, Manny Machado is so consistent. Even though sometimes it doesn't seem like he's putting up numbers, he is putting up numbers. And it came in bunches in August. We'll get to that in a little bit. But Manny Machado is one of 2 players that plays third base, and in the last 4 seasons had 100-plus RBIs. And not to mention that, like, I thought when I was going into this, I was going to see his Baltimore Oriole numbers, and I thought he was going to have more home runs, more RBIs, etc. But in the last 4 seasons, 3 of those, Manny Machado has had over 100 RBIs. And that shows me he's just as good as he was when he was younger. Maybe, the speed, his running speed is a little bit different, and he's had some injuries along the way. But for the most part, he is doing his job at the plate. It may not seem like it at times when you ground it to the double plays and everything, but I was surprised at what I found here. Now, there's only been 10 third basemen since 2021 to have 100-plus RBI seasons, so that puts him in that group too, but he has multiple out of those 10. And in 2024, this last season, he had the second most RBIs among third basemen. He was behind Jose Ramirez. So if you look at every single third baseman, Manny Machado comes in second in RBIs. Now, since 2021, now we're going to shift over to home runs. Since 2021, only 2 players have had 25 or more home runs in all 4 seasons. as a third baseman. Rafael Devers of the Red Sox and Manny Machado. He had 29 home runs last year, Manny Machado, which was good enough for third most among third basemen in all of baseball. Now, we thought 29 home runs obviously is a good amount of home runs. And when Tony and I interviewed Manny Machado there near the end of the season, he said something that completely surprised me, that he has never hit 40 home runs in the season. And if you look at his numbers, he's pretty much from 30 to 35. I think 36 was his highest in a season. And this year he had 29. But when you look at everybody else, that's how I'm going to compare him. And that's how I am judging myself how well he did. And if you're looking at the position as a whole, and he's in the top 3 of a lot of these categories, tells me good things happen for Manny Machado this year. Again, even if it didn't seem that way. Manny is a very strange player to watch on a day in, day out basis. And he's strange to watch in this regard, that when he gets going, but it's like kind of quiet a little bit. I don't really understand it. I don't know how to explain it. But other guys, you hit 30 home runs, you feel like they hit 30 home runs during the season. And it doesn't really feel like Manny Machado is doing as much as he is doing around the league. Last year he had he was the fifth. Let me start that over. He had the 5th most doubles in 2024 among third basemen. His OPS was the 3rd highest among third basemen. His slugging was 3rd best. His on-base percentage could be higher, I guess, but he's 8th best in his career at 335. His career average is actually 338, so he's right on his career average. His exit velocity last year, 92.5 mile an hour. That's the average. That's the 93rd percentile, which means he is hitting the ball hard, and he is one of the better guys in the league to do that. His bat speed, 93rd percentile, 75.3 miles an hour. And those two things tell me that he's not slowing down. If he's in the top 90%, or if he's in the top 10%, I don't know how to describe that because I'm not a mathematician, but if he's in the 93rd percentile of both of those things, it tells me he's still swinging a good bat. It tells me he's not slowing down. It tells me I have nothing to worry about with Manny getting up there in age a little bit. It's hard to also believe because Manny Machado has been playing baseball at the major league level for a really, really long time. So it feels like he's older than he really is. And let's see, he's 32 right now. He'll be 33 July 6th, but he's already played 13 years of Major League Baseball. And he's played 7 seasons with the Orioles. He played 6 seasons so far with the Padres. But if you look at his power, or if you look at his batting numbers on Baseball Savant, his barrel percentage, 75 percentile, his hard hit percent, 90th percentile. Some of the things that he could improve on, his K percentage, meaning he strikes out too much, 66 percentile. His whiff percentage was absolutely dead even, or in the middle, 50 percentile. And his chase percentage, which kind of surprised me because I feel like he chases a lot, 42nd percentile. So those are some of the things that he could improve on. And if I'm going to talk about all the good that he's had, I have to bring the bad with it. This year he had the 3rd most strikeouts in his career. He had 9th fewest walks in his career. He tied for 12th among third basemen with 45, and he tied with Max Muncy. And he also, Manny Machado, had the most ground into double plays in baseball with 25. And we've talked about that a couple times this year. And really what it means to me is that there's a lot of people on base ahead of him. And that's what Tony, Jesse, Chris, people here on the station have been saying. Does it make it easy to handle when he hits into double play? No, it doesn't at all. But he's the double play leader. Now, if you look at his entire season, the month of August was his best month. 302 he hit. And I'm saying it's his best month because he put up a ton of power numbers as well, which 7 home runs in August, 25 RBIs in August. His OPS in August was 941. He had 9 doubles, the most. So August was his best month. And September, October was not bad for him either. But really, what mattered for this team down the stretch was that Manny Machado got hot at the right time and continued to help them to win over and over and over. Let's see. Let's go to the chat real quick. I know that I saw something on here. Oh, here it is. Carl. At the end of the day, he didn't show up in the biggest games of the season, which were the last 2. What a joke. See, I feel Carl's pain a little bit. But when you're talking about a baseball player, I mean, it wasn't just Manny Machado. Even if Manny Machado was getting on base, no one else was hitting the ball. So this isn't a Manny problem. This was an entire team problem. It was not something where they had bases loaded every time Manny came up and he hit into a double play every time he had bases loaded. It wasn't like that. There was no one on base in the last 2 games of the year for him to even begin to think about driving guys in. So when you say, Carl, and it's fine, I understand that you feel that way because you know what? Manny Machado does make a lot of money, and you would think that he's responsible for some of the offensive woes there, and he is responsible for it, but I'm not going to put it all on Manny Machado, and I'm not going to call him a joke because he's definitely not a joke. I know that some people have that opinion, but Manny Machado is a very important part and piece to this team. So Carl, I understand, but I don't really think about him in a way in the playoffs like he choked because it seemed like the entire team was having trouble hitting. Let's see. What else do we got going on here? Nate says Manny is solid at third. Bat could be better with runners in scoring position. Dan also says what I said. I just read this. The Padres as a team didn't show up last 2 games of the season. Rod says, and still no respect for Manny. Put some respect on his name in my Will Smith voice, huh? Will Smith being the catcher for the Dodgers. That Will Smith, the Mr. Irrelevant Will Smith. Manny is a beast, especially when those balls are coming in hot with a bounce. He makes it look so easy. He's talking about defensively. Yeah, Ivan's right. He does make it look really easy. And he didn't play enough games this year to qualify for a Gold Glove. And so that's why he's not a nominee for a Gold Glove. But I think that he's for anyone out there that thinks he is the problem of this team, I don't know what to tell you. I'm out of things to say because I do encounter people all the time that are like, "Oh, that Manny guy, I can't wait to get him off the team." My first response is, "Well, good luck because he's under contract for like another 10 years or whatever. So he's going to be on this team forever." And Manny Machado is going to lead a lot of the record books. Now, Tony Gwynn is going to lead a lot of the stats that only Tony Gwynn can reach, like batting average and everything. But Manny Machado is now the home run leader for the Padres. Like it or not, he is going to be in the record books for all of time. Ivan also says, if you have ever played at any level of baseball, you know that the game is very hard. It is very hard. I played baseball a lot back in the day. Actually, I thought baseball was my best sport. Decided to play football in high school instead. I don't know if I would have ever made the high school team or anything like that. Probably doubt it because my high school team, Costa Canyon, won the national championship or something when I was a senior. But baseball was one of those things that I loved, but I would get so frustrated with because when you go into a slump, there is nothing easy about being in a slump. It makes you feel, it changes everything. Your whole day is just changed. Your whole week is just changed for the worse if you're in a slump. So, there you go. Manny Machado, third baseman, ranked in the top 3 of categories, ranked in the top 5 of categories. Manny Machado had a great season. Unfortunately, the bats did not show up in the playoffs, and we will have to build on that for next season. We really would have to build on that. All right, I have a update on the World Series, and I'm also going to tell you a little hack that I've used all year with going to games and everything. But the little update on the World Series, the Dodgers are up 1-0 right now at the end of the 5th inning. So we will keep an eye on that as we go. But when we get back, I'm going to tell you about the ticket thing I was just talking about. And I'm also going to go over some of the scary movies that I've been watching leading up to Halloween. So stick with me, one more segment here of the Skraby Show on 97.3 The Fan.
Ben and
Don't let AI dictate your fantasy lineup. Instead, get bite-sized fantasy football analysis in your ears. Listen to the Sleeper King podcast, giving you all the fantasy insight you'll need in just 20 minutes a day. Every league has a Sleeper King, and it should be you. Follow the Sleeper King on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. Matt Skraby with you on the Skraby Show, 97.3 The Fan, closing out the week for the station. And I'm always happy that I get to be the last voice you hear when you head into your Saturday, or last local voice you hear when you're heading into your Saturday. So thank you for listening. If you would like to watch on YouTube, you can. Just search 97.3 The Fan on YouTube, and you will be able to find the live broadcast. You can also go to Twitter or X at Matt Skraby, MattsKraby, as in boy, Y. That'll bring you there. So in this, to close out the show, we are going to be talking about some of these scary movies that I've been watching as of late. And we are also going to get into the Daily Gripe, which is not the clickbait thing. Because clickbait does bother me. But since I was accused and convicted of clickbait earlier today on the show, just go back to the Big Five, close to 5 p.m. The guys judged me and told me I was guilty of clickbait. I have moved the clickbait Daily Gripe to another day. Giancarlo Stanton just went deep for the Yankees. Oh, he went down and got that one. That was a golf of a hit right there. Home run. Golf home run. Juan Soto on base, of course. So a 2-run shot for the Yankees. And they are now leading the Dodgers 2-1 in the top of the 6th. Jack Flaherty's still in the game for the Dodgers. He has 90 pitches now. But I would have to say, except for giving up the lead right there, I would think that he had a really, really good start. And yes, indeed, Dave Roberts is coming out to get Jack Flaherty out of the game in the top of the 6th with 1 out. Jazz Chisholm Jr. up. Yankees lead 2-1. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton has been incredible during the postseason. I mean, he's sort of been the butt of many jokes over the years because he is always hurt. And he is always hurt. And he just hasn't been the same guy as of late. He hasn't been the same guy that he was when he was with the Marlins. I mean, it's been a rough go for him in New York, but this postseason is making up for everything that happened. Everything that happened before. I think people are going to be willing to forget. Now, before we get into the scary movies, I saw this article earlier today and I thought it was funny, but a dad, he was trying to buy a bunch of football game tickets to Alabama and Wisconsin. And so he really wanted to get tickets to Alabama and Wisconsin for his family. But I guess what happened was he was drinking when he was buying these tickets, which is, a bad combination. He ended up he bought 14 tickets to the Alabama-Wisconsin game back in September. The problem, though, was that he bought tickets to Alabama concert. I guess there is I guess a music group, or I don't know. I don't even know, but it's called Alabama. So in his drunken stupor, he ended up buying tickets to a concert instead of tickets to the Alabama-Wisconsin game, which really, according to this article, his family had a great time at the concert, and they did give him a very hard time for a very long time about buying the wrong tickets while he was drinking. So there you go. I thought that was kind of funny. Now, some of the things that I've been watching as of late. Let me get some music. Underneath here. Let's see. Ooh, wow, this is random. I don't really like that one. Jeez. This is not good. Okay, we're not going with music anymore. Things I've been watching. The Terrifier series. If you haven't seen Terrifier, then and you like scary movies, let me preface it with that. Then you need to see Terrifier. The first one is it's from 2016, And basically, the director had to do all these independent movies because movie studios would cut out too much. So this guy raised money. I think he made the first movie for like $50,000, or maybe even less, like $35,000 to $50,000. And then the second movie was made for um, $250,000, and then the third one was made for $2 million. So each one is getting more popular as it goes. But the first one is really, really, really good for an independent horror movie. It's so good. Like, I was watching it again last night, and I just enjoy everything about the Terrifier movies. Now, if you're not a fan of clowns, you're not going to like this movie. And M. McKee said, my 12-year-old wanted to be the Terrifier clown dude for Halloween. Well, tell me, M. McKee, did you allow your 12-year-old to be the Terrifier clown for Halloween? Because I kind of want to be the Terrifier clown from Halloween too. Terrifier clown has just made himself, as right now, in the top 5 scary movie characters. Maybe even top 3. Maybe even 1 right now. And I'll tell you why. Because these movies are all about a killer clown who is evil and kind of has superpowers a little bit. He can't really die. It's just over the top gory. So gory. And that's the shtick. It's meant to look fake. But it's great horror movie gore. And the best part about the movies is the way the actor plays the clown slash mime, because he doesn't ever say a word in any of the movies, or at least the first 2. I'm not through 3 yet. But he hasn't said a word at all. And what he does is he mimes things, and the way they shoot it is really scary because he has these like faces. They're great. It takes a really special actor to be funny while in the middle of attacking people. But the way they do it is creepy, where they do a lot of cut shots, and the clown's face is like different every time. So in the first movie, no spoiler alerts, they're in a pizza place. 2 people on Halloween in a pizza place. Clown comes in, sits down, just stares at them. And so one of the girls is like, why is this guy staring? And it goes from behind her to him. You see his face, and then it goes from his perspective to her, and then it goes back to him, and he's got a different face. But I'm telling you, this guy is so good at doing it, and it's a different face every time. Like, one time he's smiling, and one time he is sad. It doesn't really sound creepy, but it really is creepy. And in these movies, there are some jump scares, but you could feel them coming. The second one is pretty good, but it's more involved with the story. It's more of a, not a commercial movie, because he did this on his own. I think his name is Damien Leone. He did this on his own. And Terrifier movies, I love. And everybody knows I love scary movies. And I have been watching these on loop for the last week or so. And Emiki said no, she would not let her 12-year-old be the Terrifier clown. My favorite part of the Terrifier clown is, like, he has this little hat. It's like this tiny top hat, and he puts it on his head, and he kind of has it like on the side. It's just, the character is great. Like, they did everything right with this character. And I could go on for hours talking about the Terrifier clown as one of my favorite things. Rod said, Skraby, have you watched The Penguin on Max? Very good. I'm waiting for the Penguin to stop its season so I can just watch it through. I don't like watching shows anymore. Maybe this is like Chris's DVRing. I don't like watching shows anymore that are like single release episodes where you have to wait every week for a new episode. I just avoid all the spoilers I can, and I wait for all the episodes to come out, and then I watch it. Jeremy said, scary movies just make me laugh. There's got to be one movie, Jeremy, that scared you. Got to be one movie that scared you. Some of the other things I've been watching on Shudder, like I said, is it's like the horror movie Netflix. It's called The Sadness, and it's not an American movie. I think it's either Japanese or Korean, but it's about zombies. I love a good zombie movie. I'm a big fan of World War Z. I think World War Z is a great movie because it was like one of the first times that I saw zombies like run and sprint instead of just like walk around and stumble around. Like these zombies in World War Z are incredible. They are very aggressive, and I thought that movie was awesome. So World War Z, but the sadness is about a zombie type outbreak where the people it's like World War Z mixed with, let me see. It's like World War Z mixed with the Purge. That's it. That's where I wanted to go with it, because the zombies aren't like trying to eat brains or anything like that, but the zombies they like do terrible things to people, like the Purge. In the Purge, when they go attack people and they go around breaking into people's houses, that's the zombies thing. They really want to be the worst type of person ever and doing a lot of terrible things. So The Sadness is a pretty good movie if you can find it outside of Shudder. Last thing I had was, I just watched this week. It was that good. It was that good. Escape at Dannemora is on Netflix. Now, Ben Stiller, the actor, is the director of this series. And it's like 8 episodes. They're all about an hour each, but it's based on the true story of when 2 inmates escaped from a prison in New York back in 2015, where they kind of manipulated a prison worker, and she fell in love with them, and she helped them to escape. And so this whole movie goes through the entire thing about how they got out, and then it tells you what they did to get into prison, then it tells you what happened to her. But it's really good because in the end, you really feel bad for the woman who was accused of, not even accused, but convicted of helping these people escape from prison, because you could just tell she's just really unhappy with her life, and she was easily manipulated because someone was actually like showing her attention. But Escape at Dannemora is really good. I actually might even watch it again because it was that good. It has Benicio del Toro in it. It has Paul Dano in it. Benicio del Toro is hilarious. It's really good. And McKee says it's an older series, right? Yes, 2018. And it was, I never even heard about it until it came out on Netflix, but 2018 is when it came out. Please watch it and let me know what you think about it. Also, if you watch Terrifier or any of the Terrifier movies, please watch it and tell me what you think about the Terrifier movies, what you think about the clown. It's not necessarily scary, but it's just a good movie all the way around. Jeremy says, Skraby, if you checked out Haunted Trail in Balboa Park, I would recommend Reign of Terror in Thousand Oaks. Oh yeah, Patricia Arquette's in Escape at Dannemora as well. I have been to the Haunted Trail at Balboa Park. For a guy who loves scary things, I do not like to be in those haunted houses because I'm extremely jumpy and I'm extremely just on edge. And the last time I went to one of those things, someone jumped out at me and I pushed them, and I wasn't supposed to push them, and so they removed me from the experience. But oof. Jacob says Misery with Kathy Bates has always really scared me. That is a scary movie. Misery is not for the faint of heart. Kathy Bates is creepy in it. There was another. Oh, Random Ham said John Carpenter's The Thing is a great movie. I need to go back and rewatch it. It's been so long since I've watched John Carpenter's The Thing. I should go back and watch it. But it's about this time.
What's annoying Skraby today? Let's find out. It's time for the Daily Gripe.
All right, quickly, because I'm way over my time, but the Daily Gripe today is when I went to Kohl's. You know, I love to use my Kohl's cash. I went to Kohl's, and the Kohl's that I was in had Halloween decorations up, but they're already playing Christmas music. Like, I'm not a Christmas music snob. I don't hate Christmas music. I actually really, really, really like Christmas music. And I'm fine with Christmas music being played during the season, the holiday season. But having Christmas music before Halloween seems sacrilegious and borderline illegal. So I was sitting there thinking, man, we are skipping over the Halloween movie or Halloween music. We're skipping over Thanksgiving. We're just going right to Christmas. I know that's how it's going these days, but we cannot forget about Halloween. Even though I wasn't the biggest Halloween kid, I love the spooky season. Oh, Luis said Patricia Arquette is excellent, yes, in Escape at Dannemora. But yeah, I don't know. I'm all over the place right now. But final daily gripe, Christmas music, way, way too early. All right. Thanks to everybody for listening this week. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back. We'll be back on Monday, the whole station, and then Skraby Show back on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Go watch those scary movies, Terrifier, The Sadness, and then watch Escape at Dannemora. And please tell me if you like it or not. Oh, I have to say this real quick. Cesar on X says, howdy, Skraby. Greetings from Mazatlan. That is awesome. Thank you for tuning in, Caesar. And thank you all for tuning in as well. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Can we take some time to play a silly